On November 22, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas. Today, I would like to share with you the intriguing coincidences that exist between the lives of John Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln. Presidency. Lincoln was elected president in 1860, exactly 100 years before Kennedy's election in 1960. Both presidents held deep concerns about the rights of African Americans. The first ladies of both presidents experienced the tragic loss of a child while residing in the White House. Assassination. Both presidents were assassinated on a Friday in the presence of their wives. They were both shot by bullets that entered the back of their heads. Lincoln was assassinated at Ford's Theater, while Kennedy met his death while riding in a Lincoln convertible produced by the Ford Motor Company. Booth, Lincoln's assassin, hid in a barn while Oswald, believed to be Kennedy's assassin, hid in a cinema after shooting him from a book depository. Both presidents were assassinated on the day before a holiday, Lincoln on the eve of Easter and Kennedy on the eve of Thanksgiving. During the assassinations, both presidential couples were accompanied by another married couple. Lincoln and his wife were at the theater with Officer Harry Rathbone and his fiancée Clara Harris, while Kennedy and his wife were in the car with Texas Governor John Bowdoin Connally and his wife Nellie. Rathbone and Connally were both injured during the assassination attempts, but survived. Neither president died immediately after being shot. Lincoln passed away at Peterson House, while Kennedy died at Parkland Hospital. Jacqueline Kennedy arranged for Kennedy's funeral to resemble Lincoln's funeral. Successors. Both successors were vice presidents with the last name Johnson, Southerners, Democrats, and former senators. Andrew Johnson was born in 1808, and Lyndon Johnson was born in 1908, exactly 100 years later. Lincoln's personal secretary had the first name John, while Kennedy's personal secretary had the last name Lincoln. Both Johnsons suffered from kidney stones, making them the only U.S. presidents with this condition. Both Johnsons shared physical characteristics: roughness, impulsiveness, a hooked nose, and slicked back hair. Assassins. John Wilkes Booth was born in 1839. While Lee Harvey Oswald was born in 1939, exactly 100 years later. Both assassins were Southerners with extremist views. Booth and Oswald were the same height, approximately 5 feet 8 inches 172 cm. Both assassins came from troubled families and lost their fathers at a young age. Booth and Oswald were both killed before their trials, and both were shot with a Colt. Booth was pursued and killed by police officer Boston Corbett in Virginia after escaping custody, while Oswald was shot by nightclub owner Jack Ruby during his transfer in Dallas. Both assassins were arrested by a police officer with the last name Baker, though in Booth's case, it refers to the first arrest before his escape. Oswald, who shot Kennedy, was captured in a movie theater, while Lincoln was assassinated in a theater. Families. Both presidents were second-born children in their families. They were named after their grandfathers, Lincoln after Captain Abraham Lincoln, his father's father, and Kennedy after John Francis Fitzgerald, his mother's father, who was a prominent politician. Jacqueline Kennedy and Mary Todd Lincoln were engaged to other individuals before marrying their respective husbands. Interestingly, Mary Todd was engaged to Stephen Douglas, who later lost to Lincoln in the presidential election. Both first ladies came from aristocratic families and were fluent in French. The spouses of both presidents got married at the age of 24, while their husbands were already over 40 at the time. Lincoln had sons named Robert and Edward, while Kennedy had brothers named Robert and Edward. Lincoln's daughter-in-law was named Mary Eunice, and Kennedy's sister was named Eunice Mary. Both presidents had 4 children, with 2 children from each family passing away, one before their presidency and 1 during their term. Lincoln's son, Robert Todd, served as the U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom from 1889 to 1893, while Kennedy's father, Joseph Patrick, held the same position from 1938 to 1940. These intriguing coincidences in history often leave us pondering the mysteries of the past. What are your thoughts on these connections? Share your opinions in the comments section below.